Hi everybody, welcome to the Inspired Knitting Podcast. I'm your host Bobby. Today is February the 13th, 2016, and you are watching episode 13. How cool is that? I want to first start off by saying a big thank you to all my viewers last week who sent so much love and support my way. Thank you for your lovely messages and your comments. I appreciate them so very much. I was just blown away by them, so thank you so much. I'm so glad that I decided to come back because you guys are amazing. Thank you. I've also been watching your podcasts as well. I haven't been commenting, but I am tuning in again and watching, so I'm really enjoying that. I'm enjoying seeing you guys again and seeing what you've been up to, and you guys are amazing. I love what you're working on, so thank you, thank you, thank you. And I also want to welcome any new viewers who may be tuning in for the first time. Thank you for checking out the podcast, and I hope you enjoy it. So this week, it's going to be a relatively short show, I believe. I didn't get very much done, so yeah. As well as housekeeping notes. I think I'm going to push those to the end of the podcast, just in case you don't want to listen to me jabber on. You don't have to. We can just get into the knitting first and the fun stuff, and I'll save that to last. So maybe I'll make that a regular thing. I think I will. So yeah, let's just get into it. I'll start off with finished objects first. I only have one of them. I had a relatively quiet week, which you would think would grant me a lot of time to knit, but it didn't work out that way. We were hammered pretty bad by snowstorms this week where I live, and my classes that I go to are every Tuesday and Thursday. So Tuesday was a complete write-off. The roads were pretty bad, the sidewalks were not done. I drive with my power wheelchair to school, so I think it's like 3-4 blocks away from me. If the roads are nice, I will totally drive there, but when they're that bad, I just decide to stay home. So Tuesday was a write-off. Thursday, it was still snowing. It was pretty heavy that morning. The roads and the sidewalks, I think, were somewhat decent though, but I just decided to stay home. Wednesday night, I don't know what was wrong with me. I had the chills, my body was aching, and my stomach was incredibly upset. That lasted pretty much till yesterday. Today I got up, my stomach is a lot better, I don't feel sick anymore. The chills are gone, but my body's still kind of achy, so I really hope I'm not coming down with a flu or anything. So whatever that was, I hope it's gone. I don't want it to come back. So yeah, relatively quiet week, but didn't get much done. I wasn't very productive. Yeah, I did cast on a couple things and I did work on some stuff, but I'll mention what happened with that later. So yeah, let's start off with the finished object. I completed my Bob Marley inspired hat. I casted this on Monday and I finished it Monday. It's pretty easy. I used a 3.75 millimeter needle to do the bottom ribbing, which is just a 2x2 rib. I think I went like 2.5 inches or 3 inches for the ribbing, and then I just did, I think it was like 16 rows of stockinette per color stripe. The yarn that I used for this project is worsted. It's Knit Picks Brava in, I think it's just like black, and then the stripes are all done using Loops and Threads Impeccable. If I can remember correctly, it's the yellow and the green that are the Impeccable Brights, and the red is just the plain Impeccable. So the colorways are Red Hot, Sunny Day, and Kelly Green. And like I said, I just did 16 rows of each color. It's going to be a slouch. and then I duplicate stitched on the girl's name. So yeah, incredibly fast project. I got this done in a day. The duplicate stitch I didn't do because right away, because I was somewhat nervous. In the years that I have been crafting, I've only duplicate stitched maybe 2-3 times that I can remember. I did them okay, but I wasn't very pleased with it. Like, I wasn't really good at it. So it's not something that I do a lot. So with this project, it was like, okay, you can do it. So I went on to YouTube to Very Pink Knits, Stacy. If you don't know who she is, you really need to check her out because she is amazing. And I know I've mentioned her quite a bit in my podcast before, but I really love her videos. She's an incredible designer and she does amazing tutorials on many different things. It's mostly knitting, but she does do some crochet ones as well, I know. So if you don't know her, you need to check her out. So she did an incredible video on the duplicate stitch. So I watched it a couple times and got it into my brain. Then I went on to Google and I just Googled in like a chart pattern maker and spelled out Ashley just to get a rough idea of how many stitches I would need to go up. And it worked out really great. The only one I had problems with was the A. The chart maker was instructing me to do it, I think it was 3 stitches up, but it just worked out too small and too close together, like it looked distorted. So I just modified it a little bit and worked it up differently here, but it was still good. It gave me a guide on how to place my stitches. But anyway, it turned out really, really nice. I really love it. I end up, funny story about the lettering. My friend that ordered the hat, he came on Wednesday, I think. But anyway, I thought the morning he was talking to me, he said he was going to come, and I thought, okay, I'm going to quickly stitch this on. That way when he comes, he can get his hat. And I thought, okay, I set the chart up, and I started doing it. Like I said, I had to redo the A a couple times. But anyway, once I got that done, it was like, okay, it's pretty simple. I just went with it, and I was flying through the rest of the letters, and he came, and I just had to do the Y. Like, I only had one letter left. And he's looking at it, and he's like, you spelled her name wrong. And I looked at the chart, like I was looking at the chart I had on my computer, and I said, no, I spelled it right. And he pointed to the hat, and yeah, I didn't spell it right on the hat. I forgot the H. I totally didn't put that in there. So I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Never do anything in a rush, especially not when you get up first thing in the morning without coffee. Don't do it. So anyway, he didn't get his hat, unfortunately. I was really hoping he would have, but yeah, I had to rip it all back, and yeah, I spelled it right now. So that's one done. I just want to wash it and block it out a bit just to ease off some of the tension. But yeah, very satisfied with it. And that was my only finished object. So now to go on to works in progress. I didn't touch my Gramps cardigan this week at all. That one's sitting in timeout for the time being. My Roger socks. I did cast them on. I think I casted them on Tuesday, and I had 2 problems with it. The first one being my needle. Usually when I knit my socks, I prefer to knit them on my Knitter's Pride carbons. I really love them. And I remember that I had bought two sets of them. I had a 2.5 millimeter, and I also had a 2.5 millimeter, or so I thought. So anyway, I grabbed them. I knew this would have been my 2.5, and I casted the sock on, and I got through the ribbing, like the cuff, and I did 3 repeats of the Roger pattern. And if you've ever done the Roger pattern before, when you knit 3 repeats of it, 3 full repeats, you got pretty much the leg of the sock done. And anyway, I'm looking at it and stretching it out just a little bit. It looked incredibly big, and I thought, okay, I don't know if I want to continue because that looks too big. So I took my needle and I grabbed my new ruler that has the holes in it to tell you the size, and this is not a size 2.5, it's a 2.75. So I thought, okay. Then I looked at the sock and I realized that the middle repeat, I messed it up somewhere, and it was kind of major the way that I messed it up. So me being a perfectionist with my knitting, that wasn't doable. So as much as I hated to do it, I ended up ripping the whole sock out, and Tuesday night I just couldn't pick it back up again or touch it, so I left it. Wednesday my friend Shelby come over and we had a full day out, so I wasn't able to get any knitting done because that night I was just pooped out. But before we left, we were waiting for the bus to come, and I ended up pulling out my knitting, like I brought it with me, and I cast it on the sock again on my Knit Picks Caspians, which are wood needles, and these are 2.5s, and I just did a couple rows of 2x2 rib, so I didn't get that much done on it. But sad thing is, and I just realized this now, I pulled this out, when we were waiting that morning for the bus to come, I decided to pull this out and cast it on, and I was able to get a couple rounds done on it. But when the bus showed up, I just decided to toss it back in my project bag instead of putting it into the protector, the holder that you can put your DPNs in. I wish I had taken the time to do that, because I realized, and I don't know if you can see, but I busted my needle here. It broke. Oh. So lesson learned, if you're especially using wood ones, use your protector, don't just toss it in the bag. So yeah, the good thing though is Knit Picks always gives you 5 or 6 needles per size, so I do have 2 more backups. So yeah, so anyway, that's my sad story about my Roger sock. I'll just share with you what the yarn is again. I'm filming this through the day just because last week my colors were off a lot, and I'm hoping that this lighting will help. So I'll just show the yarn again. The company is called Fleece Artist. They're a hand-dyed company from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, which is exciting. This yarn is the wool tree wool, sorry. It's a 70% superfine merino, 30% tencel, and it's a fingering weight yarn. And I didn't see it last week, but the colorway name is called Cedar. And here's the yarn. It's just these gorgeous green colors. So there's a forest green and a couple shades lighter. It's just really pretty, and because of the tencel, it's creating like a sheen to it as well. So very, very pretty. And when I did cast the sock on and was working the patterning, the Roger sock patterning, it was turning up really nice with the semi-variegated, or the semi-solid, so it was gonna look really nice. So I can't wait to get these finished and show them to you guys, because I really think they're gonna turn out nice. So that is one works in progress. I casted on a new one. I still want to keep up with this being monogamous thing, but my friend Shelby, she's gonna have a birthday coming up in April, and she sent me a picture on Instagram this week, and she really loves cables. She's a knitter too, but she doesn't like knitting cables. So she's like, Bobby, you gotta knit this for me. And it was beautiful infinity shawl, an infinity scarf, and it was like 3 or 4 cables. It was so pretty. So I didn't tell her, and I really hope she's not watching this podcast, but I decided that I was going to cast on one for her birthday. So I went on to Ravelry and I started checking out patterns, and I found one that I really enjoyed, and it's the Hermine Hearts Ron Scarf by Laura Hill, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry. And it's got 3 basic cables with a little bit of lace in between them. So here's a picture of what it looks like. Isn't that pretty? And I'll just show you closer up. You can see some of the lace in that. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this one because it might wash out, but yeah, very gorgeous scarf. Now, the picture she showed me was an infinity scarf, but she said she didn't care. So when I went to my local yarn store last week, there was a lady there, and she had knitted herself this gorgeous red scarf, and it had cables in it. And what she had done on the ends, it was just like a long scarf, she had done like this much ribbing, like it was a good chunk of just ribbing, and then she started the cables, and I just really liked that. I thought that was so pretty. So I decided that I'm going to do this pattern, but I was going to extend out the ribbing. So here's what I have so far. I think this is about 6 inches of ribbing, if I remember. I'm following the pattern, except I made a couple modifications. One is her ribbing is 10 rows, and I've obviously done a lot more. I can't remember how many stitches you're supposed to cast on, but it's done in repeats of 11, and I did what she said to cast on, but I added an additional 11 stitches, so I think I'm working off like 49 stitches. So yeah, that's what I have done so far, and I think that's the length I want my ribbing to be, and now I'm going to start the cable and lace pattern. So yeah, that's what I've done. I'm using for this project US 5, which is a 375, which you're not going to be able to see that, but they're just my my Knitter's Pride nickel plates. And the yarn that I've decided to use is Loops and Threads Elegance in the leopard colorway, and I'll show you it in the ball. This yarn is an acrylic yarn, but it's incredibly soft and squishy. I just love it. It's this nice browns, and it's got these little flecks of white in it. It's just so pretty, guys. I love it. So that's what I'm using. I got 4 skeins of these all together, so that would get me close to the 400. They're 160 yards per ball, so I'm definitely going to have enough to do this project. And I just caked one up here that I'm working with now. So she loves browns and maroons and colors like that, so when I saw this yarn, I thought that's going to be her yarn. So yeah, this is not a worsted though. It works up as a sport. To me, it's more of a sport weight yarn, but it's going to be really nice, and yeah, I can't wait to get this done. I know that her birthday is only in April, so I do have some time to get this completed, but I didn't want to wait too long, because especially the way that I am, if you wait too long to cast something on, then you're stress knitting it, and that just takes the fun out, and you never get it done in time. So I thought I would get it started and slowly work on it between projects. So That's a new cast on. That's another one that I've got going. That's it for works in progress right now. I want to share something with you guys though. I spoke last week how I have this desire to cast on a shawl. I've never done a shawl before. I have done the shawlettes, I think they're called. They look like a shawl, small shawl, but they wear like a cowl. I know I've done those before. I have even cast it on for maybe 2 different shawls, but they never got completed. So I want to cast on a shawl. I want to do one. So I have the Madeline Toss yarn that I showed you last week that I got, and I wanted to do a Judy Marple shawl with that. Still going to do that, but I have the baby blanket that I need to do for an order, which is something else I have to do this week. So, but anyway, I was going through my stash and I saw these 2 skeins of yarn that I have, and they just look so pretty together. So Bobby pulled them out, which she shouldn't have, but she did. She pulled them out and went on to Ravelry and started looking through her library. I had bought 2 different shawl patterns a couple years ago, and they both used 2 different colors. So the first one that I may or may not do, I'm not sure which one yet, is the Red Rock Canyon shawl, which is by Rosemary Rami Hill. And when she released this pattern, I just fell in love with it. It's so gorgeous. So here it is. You're not going to be able to see the lace section too much with this picture because it's washing out, but very, very gorgeous. I think you might be able to see that one better. I don't know. Sorry about that, guys. It's a pretty popular pattern though, so that's the Red Rock Canyon. Maybe that one? No. Anyway, you get the gist of it. It's a very beautiful shawl. It's a full-on shawl as well. So there's that one. Or the other one that I had in mind is, I don't know if I'm going to say it right. I think it's called the Faberge. That one is by Laura Ayler. And this one can be done in like a kerchief size shawl, or you can do it as a full size shawl. So here it is. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm more leaning towards this one. I really love this one. Kind of nervous about this one though, because this inside section here, it's using, I believe, what they call like the quilter's technique in knitting, and I'm somewhat nervous about that because I've never done that before. But yeah, it looks gorgeous and I really would love to try it. There's another picture where the middles cross here. They include beads, so the pattern shows you how to include the beads in it, and I really love that. I think that looks gorgeous, but I don't have no beads right now, and unless I get some before I cast this project on or get to that part, I don't know if I'd be adding them. But for right now, I'm saying I'm not doing beads in it if I choose this one. But yeah, it's just a very gorgeous pattern. I really love that. So those are the 2 different shawl patterns that I have that I think would work great with my yarn. So I'll now show you the yarn. I had bought a skein of Malabrigo sock a couple years ago. It was a de-stash off of Ravelry, and it's called the the Velvet Grapes colorway. And I think you guys have seen this before. When I bought it, I had shown it to you guys, and I may have even cast it on a shawlette with it, but I didn't like the shawlette, so I ended up ripping it back out. It only just started it. So you may have seen this before, but it's the Velvet Grapes colorway and the Malabrigo sock, which is a fingering. And it's these beautiful wine colors and purples and so, so pretty. So I got that one. And the other one that I would like to pair it with is Nitpick Stroll Tonal in the Pearl Scent colorway, which is these beautiful shades of ivory. So I don't know, when I was going through my stash and I saw them, I just thought they would look really pretty together. So yeah, they just screamed a shawl, so I took them out. I shouldn't have taken them out, but I did. So yeah, I think they're gonna turn into a shawl soon. I don't think I'm casting it on this week. I don't want to cast it on this week. I have other things to do, but very soon I think this will be the shawl I make first. So yeah, which one, like I said, I'm kind of stuck between the Red Rock or the Faubourg, but I think I want to make the Faubourg. That's really pretty. So yeah, anyway, that's it for works in progress. I have no spinning to show you. I have no stash enhancement either. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Housekeeping notes. Yeah, like I said, it was a pretty quiet week. Stayed in a lot. Wednesday, me and my friend, we did manage to get out for a while, which was really nice. We just went for coffee and hung out for a little bit. And yesterday, Friday, like I said, I wasn't feeling well, so we decided to stay in. Although it wasn't snowing, it was incredibly cold here. It was like minus 27 with the wind chill, so it was really gusty out, windy, so we stayed in. We made it a movie day, and she brought her pups with her, so yeah, we usually knit when we hang out, but yesterday we just chilled, we watched some movies and played with the puppies, and yeah, it was awesome. So we had a girls' day. It was nice. Then while she was here, I ended up getting a phone call, and this was totally exciting, surprising, and unexpected. In April of 2015, I had applied to, like I said, in a referral to go into rehab again, and I was assigned a doctor, but it takes like up to a year to be able to get an assessment from that doctor. It's a world-renowned rehab center in my area, and yeah, that was a little disappointing to hear a year-long waiting list, but it's understandable at the same time. They do take emergency cases almost right away, but because I've been this way for 18 years, I'm not considered an emergency. So anyway, I was told that, yeah, you will get a call around May 2016 to get your assessment. So moved on, did other things, and kind of put it, like, not out of my mind, but the back of my mind. So yesterday when I get this call, I was like, oh my god, I finally got the call. They called me and they said, okay, there's been a cancellation, but you have to be here this Wednesday at 1:45, and it's like a couple hours out from where I live. So I called up my uncle because he helps me get about, and I was like, can we get there at Tuesday at 1:45? And he's like, yes, totally, we got a road trip. Actually, it was my aunt I was talking to, and I was like, oh my god. So I called her back, confirmed the appointment. So this Wednesday, I got my assessment happening at the rehab center. So I'm super excited about that. I can't wait to see how that goes. Yeah, I am confident. I really hope they will take my case on. I know it's been 18 years, but I hope they take my case on and I get a second chance. I'm really confident that I could get back up on my feet again, even if I don't walk again. If I could just bear weight on my legs enough to do transfers or walk with a walker, anything. I will take anything. I am confident that I can do it. I work hard. I'm determined. I would just love to be given this second chance to try. So keeping my fingers crossed. If you guys could send prayers my way, it would be much appreciated. I really hope it goes well so I can get admitted. That's the only thing. I would have to be admitted into this rehab center, and I don't know how long it would take to rehabilitate. I don't know how that would all go, but right now I really don't care. Because the waiting list was like for a year, I moved on to other things like my apartment, and I'm working now on like my education and getting a career, and these things are very, very important to me. But at the same time, I can't pass up this opportunity either. I need to know if I can walk again. Walking is something that, of course, I want to see if I can do, if I can get there again. And I know at my age, I'm 29 years old, I need to get my education and my career going. But if I pass up this opportunity, I'll live in regret not knowing. So yeah, I don't know how I'm going to balance all of this, but just take it one day at a time. I'm just going with it. I want to see where this goes, and yeah, I'm just so excited to have gotten that phone call yesterday. So that's my excitement. That really made my week. So yeah, that's pretty much all that's been going on with me. Wasn't very productive week, but yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully by next Saturday I'll have more to show you. I do think I can do these podcasts every week. Like I said, I won't promise, but I think I can do them every week. So next week I hope to have more to show you guys. I hope you guys have been having a great week too, a productive one. Hope you're enjoying your knitting, crocheting, whatever craft you love to do. Hope you've been enjoying it. Hope you've had nicer weather than we have. Yeah, I just hope you guys have had a good week. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you again for your lovely comments that you gave me last week. I love them, and I love hearing from you guys again, so thank you for that. You can check out my website at sweetcomfortdesigns.com. There you will find the show notes and patterns that I showed today. The links, they still won't work. I hyperlinked them in, and I even copy and pasted them in, and it just will not work. It just won't put the links in there. So if you go to the top right corner of my website, you will find a direct link to my Ravelry page, and there you will find all my current projects, and you can just click on them and it'll directly link you to the designers, the pattern. So yeah, you'll have to do it that way. I'm sorry. Pictures, you can find them on my website as well. I will try to come up with something. I realized last week after I had posted that I had a Twitter account going. The Twitter account was just being used for like when I uploaded the episodes. So right now I'm not using that. So that one I think I'm not going to do. So everything will just be on my website. So for the time being anyway. I might set up a separate Instagram account for the podcast to post pictures. I do have one now, like I said, but I don't want to open that up to the public. So yeah, I'll work on that, and I'll update you guys if I do anything. So right now it's just my website. So show notes, sweetcomfortdesigns.com. Subscribe if you like the podcast, and yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome week. Thank you for tuning in and spending some time with me today. I know I enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a great week, guys. I love you. Bye.